Come on, folks. Let's go. Let's go. Yay, Ilya made it. Woo! Oh, I'm blushing. Well, welcome to our panel. People are still coming in, but since we only have a little amount of time, we might as well go ahead and get rolling. I'm Matt.
I'm Ilya.
This is Bill. If you guys aren't familiar with Bill, he's been with us for a very long time. He's been the one who swings a lot of the heavy stuff, along with one of our friends in the background. Where are you, Berserker? Stand up. Big guy over here. He's been on several episodes. Bill's now full-time with Ball, Knife, and Sword, and you will now see him full-time on Man at Arms. So, yeah. Heck yeah. Wow, a lot of people are still coming in. This is pretty okay. I like this. Right. We're really excited to be back here at Otakon. We've done conventions and Renaissance festivals and stuff like that our whole lives, basically all three of us. But our first panel was here at Otakon last year, and ever since we pretty much demand that we get a panel everywhere we go because you guys were great, and we're just very happy to be back here. So thanks for having us, and hopefully we don't bore you too much. We are going to try to leave, like normally our first panel, we do a couple panels through the weekend. Normally our first panel we do a brief intro, and then we just try to get as much interaction with you guys as possible to answer a whole lot of questions. So we'll try to be quick, and then we'll have one of our lovely ladies run around with a wireless mic and try to get a few questions in from you guys. Hurry up, jeez. Wow. Anyway, give you, how many people have seen one of our panels before? Jeez. Okay, so I won't try to bore you guys too much, but I'll give you a brief intro. Anybody here watched Man at Arms before it was reforged? Cool. I did too, just for the record. I was a subscriber before I had anything to do with it. Tony's a friend of ours. We have blacksmithing events that has come out for years and done some different demonstrations. It's been a while since he's done that, but season 4 of the original Man at Arms, he asked me to come out and be a guest artist. At the same time, I came out to basically meet and fall in love with my current girlfriend, Natasha, who's up here. Yeah, current. Only. Yeah. Anyway. So went out there, did that. It was a whole lot of fun. Got to see how that worked. Thought it was neat, didn't think much of it. Thought it was probably the last time I'll do that. Flew back from LA, back here to Maryland, did our daily job. About a few months later, we get a phone call, or I get a phone call that I didn't pick up because I don't answer my phone very often, from our producer Brent, basically asking if we would want to be involved. It's a very long story of how it came to be, but the logical choice. I mean, they asked sword makers from all around the country to do it. If you don't know, Man at Arms is filmed 6 episodes in 7 or 8 days. So we start to finish 6 different crazy weapons that you guys love to request in 8 days. There's just not too many shops and knife makers or sword makers out there that can really do that. So they tried a couple different ideas of bouncing around different shops, but the logical choice was to stay with us, and I'm glad it happened. We're over 2 years now doing it. We're getting ready. We just filmed our 100th episode, 100 and like I don't know, 105, whatever. There's a lot of episodes of Man at Arms, and we're proud to do it. Recently, we debuted our first historical episode, which was the Chinese Dundao sword. Basically begging people to thumbs up it and share it, but we didn't have to. You guys really responded well, you love it. So not only will we be doing high-end crazy fantasy stuff, but we'll be able to mix in some historical stuff, which really is a nice break for us. Not to say we don't love making the fantasy stuff, because we do. I mean, he's big anime, I'm a huge video game guy, Bill's old school with everything, and you know, it's old school.
I like new school too.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, but we really love a chance to show you guys historical stuff too. We try our very hardest to work in historical techniques, even on crazy stuff like Guts sword and stuff like that. We still try to work in some historical stuff, even if it's one little bit or one little, couple lines where Ilya just explains some history behind a tool or a process. But now we get the opportunity to do it throughout the whole episode, so it's a lot of fun. I've talked enough. Ilya, say some stuff.
Yeah, I know. I want to be able to see people when I talk to them. Okay, it looks like virtually everybody is who can fit is here. So, my background, I'm not from the United States originally.
No.
What? What?
Where are you from?
Russia.
Oh.
Yeah. Which some people complain on YouTube comments that I mispronounce stuff. I mispronounce stuff all the time in English and in other languages. So there you go. Enjoy it. I don't care. You can actually gauge how tired I am based on how I mispronounce words all the time and how my accent switches. My first English teacher was from England, and sometimes when I first came to this country, my English was in British English, and then my accent slightly started shifting, so that's why. Now, I started making armor and swords back in Russia when I was in what you guys would call middle school. We had shop class and we were taught basic metallurgy. Came here, started being involved with reenactors, and so on and so forth. I progressed, moved to graduate school, needed a job, landed a use of the shop at Baltimore Knife and Sword, and from here on, everything cascaded down, and now we have a show. Now,
You guys want to hear the real story on how that happened? Okay, so we have a blacksmithing event every March where we have sword makers and stuff that come out and demonstrate. And like I said before, Tony Swatton usually comes out and does an armor demo. Well, Tony canceled on us about 4 years ago, and it was kind of last minute. And Carrie decided he wanted to invite Ilya, and I saw Ilya come, and he made a little metal like human facial mask for a helmet. And it was so impressive. I mean, he didn't really say much that whole weekend. Believe it or not, Ilya did not say much like a whole weekend. But I literally looked at Carrie and said, "Can we keep him?" So yeah, he in many different ways is a replacement for Tony. No burn on Tony, but burn on Tony. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, buddy.
well, anyway, that's embarrassing. So now, I'm glad you guys like the first historical episode. The reason is a lot of the weapons you guys request, we make them, and sometimes the demos look a little bit iffy because sometimes those weapons don't quite work. Now, the reason why they don't quite work is because they're sculptures rather than impressive pieces of design that are supposed to captivate your imagination and energize you when you're interacting with the media, whether the medium is game or anime or what else do we have? Movie, card, so on and so forth. So as a result, we have to make compromises to make that weapon work one way or another. Reducing the weight, because some weapons just break under their own weight. Video games, anime don't understand what mass is. Two-dimensional media cannot accommodate it. Because if two-dimensional media would accommodate mass, the volume of a two-dimensional figure is 0. If the volume is 0 and it has any mass whatsoever, it is a black hole and the world collapses into it. Now, second thing, a lot of the weapons have to play well with each other. Remember, we have a little over a week in filming time to make 6 items. So if one item is absolutely crazy, it means the rest will kind of suck because, so we cannot allow that. We have to have every item work with itself. Now, when there's a special item that I care a lot about, one way or another, I end up sinking weeks and months of my time into learning how to make it. That's how we got the Kill Bill katana, and from then on. I actually sunk a lot of my personal budget into buying the proper books published by accredited sources, not just like random people talking about swords, but Yoshinda Yoshihara, who is the national treasure of Japan, writing about how he makes his stuff. So there's no more credible source than the national treasure writing about his job. From then on, there will be other historical episodes where even if you don't see it in the episode, please look up the item on Google. Because of the time constraints we have, we cannot really tell you all there is to know about that item. We can just give you a little sliver that introduces the thing to you. There's hours and hours of information that you can collect on just the Dundao itself. Now, the Dundao in the comment section, there was a misunderstanding. The actual weapon does not inspire the Japanese weapon. It's the Chinese pirates took the Japanese odachi. I stand up because it's easy for me to see everybody's faces. And Matt likes selfies.
I'm going live.
Okay, so the guest we had on it, Scott Riddell, is one of the eminent scholars in the United States, specifically on Chinese sword martial arts. He kind of looks like David Carradine, which is a plus, without the weird stuff, so far as we know. He's a little bit kooky in person. He absolutely is. He owns a Shiba Inu that's grumpy. Now, as is, yes, that is correct. Unless they're my Shiba Inus that I don't have yet. Now, we will work hard from then on to invite museum curators for historical episodes when we can. So please appreciate when that happens, how big of a deal it is for me personally to have someone with a PhD talking about the thing that I'm making. It does put quite some pressure on me when it's a historical piece. However, when we're making 5 seconds. Can you hear me now if I talk like that?
Here, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's for you.
can you hear it?
Oh,
All right.
very special.
I don't like sitting when I talk. It really compresses me a lot, and it bothers me quite a little bit. Now, you're here to listen about how we approach anime swords, video game swords, so on and so forth. So there are key features that, besides the technical stuff that we use in order to build an item. First of all, we try when we can to bring back everything we remember about playing something or viewing something, because some of that stuff we've seen a long time ago and haven't rewatched yet. And then when the build is approved, the week before, we have to rewatch some of that stuff. So some stuff we will miss. We try to capture the spirit of the item we're making. So if it is a comedic little gag here and there in the episode that takes 20 minutes to set up, we'll make sure it's there just to give it chuckles.
To make me happy, really. That's what
He loves the...
Anybody see Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes that. It's bringing the spirit of the... There you go.
Yes.
Captivating the spirit of the item. Second thing what we try to do is show at least a slightly different way of making an item. For example, Urza's sword. Who remembers Urza's breastplate and sword, right? Yeah, well, that sword looks like virtually every single sword in a video game. It's a generic fantasy sword, basically, right? Wings as a guard, blade here that has a weird shape, so on and so forth. So we try to change it up a little bit, as opposed to, it actually kind of looks like the Master Sword, too. So we try to change that up, hence the breastplate. Now, the choice for that episode was not to make one of her crazy outfits. First of all, crazy outfits take a long time. Second, most of her advanced outfits, Urza, Fairy Tail, doesn't really represent armor part. It's more of a cosplay, bikini type thing, right? And I have nothing against showing off cosplay bikini stuff, but it does not show my skill. So why have me make a bikini where I know a whole bunch of seamstresses and tailors who can make that better than I do?
Let me interject real quick. It has nothing to do with bikinis, I promise.